All right. Testing. Give me just a second. Just a second. There we go. That's the issue. That was the issue. Okay. Got it. And apparently, even though I put game F1 2021 in the game title section of Elgato software, it still doesn't update the game information to reflect the actual game that's being played. But that's okay. We're just gonna deal with it and move on. I can always change it in the app once we get going. So we're at Spielberg. This is one of my favorite tracks in the whole of the game, in the whole of the calendar. This is a fantastic circuit. Pretty straightforward track, not a lot of corners. A varying mix of corners at the Red Bull Ring. We have hairpins. We have sweepers. We have not a chicane, actually. We don't have a chicane. So it's a very nice track, a lot of decent speed corners, you know. You can really carry some speed through some of the apexes. I'm thinking turn 1 specifically. I'm thinking the downhill, well, not really. I was about to say downhill turn 3, but you don't really carry a ton of speed to the apex. For that corner, the left-handers, only two left-handers on the track that follow that are quite quick, especially when you get to the Formula 1 levels of downforce, high downforce cars, really pushing it. These F2 cars, they don't corner quite that quickly, but they have decent cornering speed for what they are. And then of course, you know, the double right, the end of the lap is pretty quick. It's a very straightforward track, so we'll go to the next session. We'll leave it on the difficulty that we're on, although I felt that this difficulty at times is a little bit too easy. It just depends on the track, I think. Spielberg, always been a bit of a weaker one for the AIs, dating back the last couple of games, so we'll see how the AI go here. I always go strong at this track too. Like I said, I really adore this circuit. I probably turned 1,000 laps on this track, no lie, in Assetto Corsa. It's a great track, and it's one that I've really memorized super well. You know, I know all the braking points, you know, all the apexes. It's a straightforward track. Fun to race on. The great thing about this track is there's multiple lines. You can actually race the track. There's multiple lines. You can take different lines into the corner, and you can go side by side. The track is quite wide. It allows overtaking. You can follow people, kind of. I think when the regulations come in next season for F1, we'll start seeing You know, if the regulations do what they're supposed to next year, you really be able to see people following through this track, because they're supposed to use the floor to create all the downforce underneath the car next year. So with them trying to force all the air underneath the car, you'll lose a lot less downforce following someone through the corners, so you won't have to rely on air flowing over the car next season. We'll see if that actually works out. They're trying to essentially do a revised version of ground effect next season. I can't wait to see it, but it's one of those things where F1 says this is how much downforce we're expecting the cars to lose. They're only expected to lose like 5% of their downforce, which is insane. That's an insane number, because they lose like 50% downforce with the current regulations when they follow someone. So they lose a huge chunk of their downforce when they follow. And when you're going through a high-speed corner, that is a significant loss in grip. And then you overheat the tires. You're sliding around, you overheat the tires. It's just this one big snowball effect. So I can't wait to see what next year brings, whether the ground effect works. It worked back when Lotus used ground effect, but we'll see if this revised version is supposed to be obviously safer, because if you use ground effect the way they did with the skirts back in the late 70s, what happens is if you hit a bump on the track, or you go slightly airborne, well, suddenly you have no airflow underneath the car, so it's not sucking the car to the ground. Now imagine you're going through a corner at 180 miles an hour, and you have no air flowing under the car, and you have no downforce. It's obviously very, very dangerous. But hopefully what they have is they have side skirts. They don't really have side skirts, but they have like these little panels underneath the car that are supposed to be able to move with the body of this car, with the suspension, allowing the air to remain attached so you don't lose airflow underneath the car. Next year we'll see if it works out. So we got Hungary was real life yesterday. We've got Spielberg. This is not really, I consider this to be like a mid downforce track. It's not really, you need some aero to get you through the high speed stuff. It's really it's a pretty fast track, so you don't need a ton of downforce. We're gonna go 5-6 wing. You don't need to run a lot of wing here. You really don't. You actually end up losing a lot of wing. It's really more about hit your apex and get a good exit out of the corner onto the straight. Carry as much speed out of the corner onto the straight. At this type of track, the exit is more important than the apex speed. So that's what we're going to maximize. At least that's what I hope to maximize with this setup. So we're going to make a little bit of a setup adjustment. We'll keep the roll bars stiff at the front, see how that feels, and we're going to keep some rake as well in the car just for a little bit of oversteer, because when the front is so stiff like that, it understeers like crazy this year. But the car actually does what it's supposed to do this year, where differential works, brake bias adjustments work this year. So let's see, let's go 23 psi on the fronts, see how that feels. We got hard and soft tires. We can only do the practice sessions on one tire. We'll do acclimatization just to get out there and get a feel for the track again. It's pretty straightforward track is the Red Bull Ring. Oh, I forgot where I apologize. I was hot lapping last night off stream, so now that I'm streaming again, we'll do cockpit camera.
The goal is to get through as many corner gates as quickly and precisely as possible. Best of luck out there.
Shut up, Jeff. Man, if I had a real-life engineer, his name would be Jeff. Even if his name isn't Jeff, I would say, shut up, Jeff, every time. So I can already feel the understeer. We're getting lots of understeer already. This is not a good thing. Yeah, we have a ton of understeer in the car, so I'm gonna have to tune some of that out. I missed the DRS because the car went all the way over. I took the Lewis Hamilton line out of turn 1. It could be a matter of just adjusting to the setup, but I'm not liking the setup at the moment. So what we need to tune some of that out of the car. We could just soften the fronts a little bit, give the fronts a little more grip, soften the front suspension, just give the front just a little more bite as we go into the corner, because right now the fronts are Not gripping at all. Yeah, see? I have no front end. It's like driving without a front wing. Yeah, look at this. It's understeer for centuries. Understeer dating back to the first Formula One World Championship race. Which was held in Silverstone, by the way. In the 1950s, I believe. I don't know the exact date.
That's looking good. Now let's try for purple. You'll get a bonus for consistency if you can chain good corners together.
See, I think it may have been a... Now we're getting some front end grip, and it may have been that the fronts needed to get up to temperature. Starting to feel better. We've gained a second coming out of turn 1. That's how much better my turn 1 was. Gained a second in lap time. Traction is non-existent, as it has been with these F2 cars the whole season. These F2 cars, you drive them a little bit differently, I feel. Brake really hard early and then slow with your downshift. You don't want to go too aggressive downshifting and on the brakes, or you will lock the rear axle, especially if you move the brake bias super far rearward. Keep that brake bias not too far rearward. Still want some rotation, but my god, the car is a handful right now. Oh, Jeff, what have you done to my front end? Car is shit. Yeah, we're gonna soften the suspension for sure. It's just, I'll keep the roll bar the same, but the front suspension needs to be softened. It's way too stiff. No, I have no grip.
This is the last lap of the program. Final lap of the program.
Who's that? Samaya, probably? Coming out of the pits? Samaya... Maybe? No, he said a lap time. No, it's Matsushita. Still laughing that I'm Mazepin's teammate. And I've been massively outperforming Nikita. Give me that F1 seat at a Haas, please. I deserve it. Let me be Mick's teammate next year. Ah, there we go. There's the rotation. You just have to be able to use the brake. I think the problem is I'm trying to drive the corners like a Formula One car, and you can't do that. This is an F2 car. We don't have that kind of downforce.
Okay, then that's the end of the
Pole!
program. Plenty of useful data.
It's pole in practice session. I'm the greatest F2 driver in the history of Formula 2, or GP2, as it used to be called. Let's see. Well, first of all, how fast am I? I'm doing 16.9s. Okay, it's not really, well, in my experience, I'm even being faster than them, being slower than them, rather, in the practice sessions, even isn't necessarily a sign that I'm going to be slow in qualifying. I've been pretty fast in the qualifying session, despite being, you know, off the pace by quite a few tenths. So we'll do qualifying pace. So what we've done, we've taken some spring out of the front. So the spring at the front end is not so stiff anymore.
Okay, this is a quali sim. We've estimated the times our closest rivals will be doing, so that's what we need to beat.
See, and Tsunoda has now gone faster than I have. So I expect Yuki to be very quick. He always has been this season. Oh, hit the apex. Take the Lewis Hamilton line out of the corner. And I'm losing a good tenth of a second on the run to turn 2. Screw you, this kink is not turn 2. I don't care what the FIA says or what F1 says. Whoever is in charge of calling that kink turn 2, it's not a turn. The hairpin at the top is turn 2. It always will be. You can't convince me otherwise. See, it's all about corner exit. It's all about corner exit here. Front end is biting a little bit better. That was the goal, is to get the front end to just grip up just enough that I'm not fighting it by having to add more steering lock. Because I feel like I have to add a ton of steering lock. It's going to be very close in the qualifying sim program. I'm just going to use all the curb on the exit. Screw this. I'm not going to beat the Delta if I don't do that. I'm barely going to set this lap time.
Program complete and a job well done. We got some excellent data with that run, so come on back to the garage and I can talk you through the numbers.
Okay, so I didn't nail the speed trap, but I did have average cornering speed. So with that lap time, we were 5/10 faster. I think we gained 5/10 on our personal best. How much faster than Tsunoda is that? 2/10. So it's pretty competitive. We did this on a hard tire as well. Now we just do race strategy on worn hard tires. That is fantastic. Bellissimo.
Okay, we need a few solid laps here to help us calculate a good race strategy.
Oh, the understeer in 5th gear there is just... I think we need 4th. I have no front end still. I think the handling model has just in general gone towards understeer. And I don't like it. It's very hard to drive around for me personally. I like front end. We can always drop the brake bias a bit more rearward just to give it some rotation. But, you know, like I said, with these F2 cars, I'm afraid to push it too far rearward. And then you start dealing with locking the rears. And the rears can lock very easy. See, we've got the brake bias is 51%. Oh god, Aiken, you gotta move, buddy. I'm paying attention to my brake bias. Oh, you little shitter. He just put me off. Mate, what was that? He's did it again! What is he doing? He pulled aside to let me go and then he tries to take the apex. Are you letting me go or are you racing? I mean, what are you doing? Pay some attention. Aitken bot. Aitken's AI sucks. Aitken in real life, no. He doesn't suck. He was in a big crash at the Spa 24 this weekend. I mentioned that in the other stream, but seriously, he broke his collarbone and had a damaged vertebrae.
Great lap. You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
And I think there was another injury in there that I'm forgetting. Anyway, it was a big crash at Eau Rouge. Radion, if you want to be that guy. But yeah, it was a massive crash. He's okay, but he is injured. It was a huge crash. I mean, I'm so scared that people are going to start having a complaint about that corner in motorsport. They'll be like, we need to do away with Eau Rouge because it's a dangerous corner. But that's racing. Look. If you make every circuit super safe and super boring, then you just have the same bland type of circuits all over the entire calendar. And Spa is totally unique because it has Eau Rouge and Radion. And then you have corners like Puhan and Blanchimont. These high-speed, really unique corners, unique elevation change. Austria, where we're at in the game right now, is a super unique corner on the calendar. Or did I say super unique corner? Super unique circuit on the corner or on the calendar. I can't.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
I can't get the word corner out of my head. But it's such a unique circuit on the calendar because you have so few corners, unique corners, elevation change. Look at the beautiful backdrop. I mean, we've got the Styrian Mountains in the background. It's beautiful, man. Or hills. I don't know if you can call them mountains. More hilly than it is mountainous. But anyway, it's a beautiful backdrop. lots of elevation change, unique corners, very wide track. This is, like I mentioned, there's overtaking opportunities. It's a unique one on the calendar, but then you have all these street circuits that they keep building, and they're all cookie cutter street circuits. And they're saying, you know, Herman Tilke needs to design these. They're making Herman Tilke be the guy that's designing them, and I don't blame Tilke, because he's just doing what he's told and working with what he's been given to work with. But when they have this defined set of rules for how these circuits should be built and designed, they're all cookie cutter, and they're all bland, they're all boring, and they're all trying to take inspiration from like Silverstone or something, but they come off as a poor man's version of like Maggots and Beckett's at Silverstone, for example. They've tried to do that at...
You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
They've tried to do that at so many different circuits. The only one that it's kind of worked out at has been at COTA. COTA is the only circuit that actually has that S section that works well with COTA. I gotta say, Tilke's the guy that said that they needed to like build some hills into COTA just so they can make the track interesting, give it some elevation change. So he's the guy that actually said they needed to do that, because I think the original builders wanted to just build it on a flat piece of land that was already there and not, you know, give it any uniqueness. Tracks don't have any uniqueness anymore. We don't have tracks like, you know, we don't have a Spa anymore. You know, we get these boring flat circuits like Sochi, which is 90-degree corners. Don't have any elevation change anymore. You don't have any high-risk corners anymore. I think it's crazy because, you know, you have tracks like Silverstone and they have corners like Cops and Maggots and Beckett's, and I feel like, you know, modern-day F1 would be so terrified of the idea of building a track like that, or putting corners...
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay
putting
focused.
corners like that on a circuit, just because they're like, oh, well, everything has to be ultra safe these days. Everyone is so soft. So we get these boring tracks that don't produce any good racing. So that's my rant of the day. I'm just really just fed up with how boring the more modern circuits are. They're all boring. The one thing I'll say is they're modifying Melbourne, if they ever get to go back there. They've modified Melbourne, so they made it wider. They've opened up some of the corners, so you can at least, you know, follow and overtake. But it looks like they're never going to go back to Australia. So it would be really cool to see that track. They're modifying Abu Dhabi this year. They're finally getting rid of the chicane into a hairpin, which never made any sense. I kind of get the chicane into a hairpin because the spectators' grandstand is right behind the hairpin. But still, I mean, that was just ridiculous.
Okay, test complete.
It kills all the flow of that track if there ever was any.
And that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
That whole first sector is actually pretty cool. Like that first sector at Abu Dhabi, but then everything after that is just boring and dull. And that's been the case for most of the new circuits that they have built ever since then. Is just they're dull and boring. So let's get to qualifying. Trying to think of other modifications. I think Imola has been pretty cool, although it's hard to follow at Imola. I hope they stay going to Imola.
As all cars are now over the line, your top three again.
You know, they need to come back next year to Imola with new regulation cars. Because if they do, like I said, if they do what it's supposed to do and allow you to follow, then you might actually get some really good racing. And maybe even go to Mugello again. Mugello was awesome, like in qualifying, and it was a pretty boring race in terms of there wasn't a ton of action. It was same thing, hard to follow. But if 2022 does what it's supposed to do, I would love to go back to Mugello and Imola. I know both Italian tracks, but I mean, you could at least rotate those tracks out and still go to Monza. I'm trying to think of modifications that they've done this year. Same thing, we just simulate up to like 19 minutes remaining in the session. I think there was another modified track another track that they modified. Portimao would be pretty cool to keep going there. I think that's a really cool circuit. That's a circuit that is exactly the kind of track F1 needs to go to. That track is like a literal roller coaster. The elevation change on that circuit is ridiculous. The corner types are insane. That's exactly the type of circuit you need to change things up a little bit. I'm glad they've been going there. Give it a trial run, you know? And I don't think the racing's been half bad either. I mean, I think considering the type of car and regulation that's been going there the last 2 years in a row, it's not been that bad. So full focus for this qualifying lap, and then I get a bunch of wheel spin on the exit. Daruvala, hard for me to get that off my tongue, is gonna interfere with my lap. Alright, so this lap is gonna be compromised, so I'm gonna have to come back out again and do a second lap, but that was gonna always be the case. Yeah, I tipped the wheel on the grass, but I don't think this is going to be an ideal lap anyway with Daruvala hampering my lap. I need to change the video settings. I forgot about that. I'll do it between this lap and the next qualifying lap, so I'll fix that. Just give me a second. So what's the lap time? It is good for P8. Yep. That's a hampered lap for you. I'm going to change some video settings. Just give me just a moment. I have to do this between different games that I play when I stream through the Elgato. It just is the way it is. It's not a big deal. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it is something that I have to do. We're at brightness of 7, so I'm going to put brightness at -6. Might go to -7. Contrast at 6 down to 3, and that's the only changes I need to make. So that should change the picture settings just to make it not so bright, because this game's bright and then Hitman is dark, so a huge contrast between games. And those changes are also reflected on my TV monitor. So how far off are we? We're 2/10 off pole. We can find 2/10. We were easily hampered by that much. So I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna simulate until the track is well, it won't be clear. I think everyone will go back on track within the last 3. So we did a 1:16. So we need to go out with like 2:16 remaining, right? We'll go out with 2:16 remaining, or go out when they all start going out. But I'm imagining we'll go out right now. Go out, go out, go out. Drive out.
Checks complete. We're ready.
I should be able to get this lap in. Everyone's going out, so I'm going to be going out at the exact right time. So I should be able to set a second lap time. I don't want to start in P8, so if I can improve that qualifying time, I will. Short shift a couple of gears. We don't need to spin up those rear tires. I'm going to let this Carlin behind go. I don't know if it's Daruvala or who that is behind me, but he can just go ahead and go. Yeah, we're on worn tires, so just going to let him go. It is Tsunoda. Oh, it's Yuki. All right. Yuki himself, he needs to have a good weekend to get back in the championship fight. I'm just going to let Yuki go. I need to build a gap, so I'm going to let him just kind of go ahead of me. I need to pay attention to how much time's remaining. We have a minute to get back around. We're fine. I can just let him go. Oh, there's a car coming up behind me. Is it a guy on a hot lap? Because I don't want to interfere someone's lap here. So I might be pressed into trying to go a little bit here. I might be pressed to go just a little bit quicker than I would like to. We just need to find 2/10. That's easily done. I think just in the first sector alone I can find 2/10. So Daruvala doing some interesting tactics to help his teammate out. So let's see if we can find that time here. Yeah, look at that. I found the 10th already coming out of the first turn. Because I didn't get wheel spin. That's why. Just hit the apex and then make sure we get off the corner. Look at that, 7/10 almost. Lost some of it coming out of the corner as the rear just kind of wiggled and did its own thing. Have a pretty good feeling I'm going to crush the competition here. Purple middle sector. Should be pole. It might be an easy pole position here. That would be track limits if this was real life. The FIA would be getting me for track limits. But that's 7/10 improvement in this pole. It's an easy pole.
Fantastic. You've got pole.
I think I grabbed that pole by like 5/10. Just dominating. Absolutely dominant. Did I get it by 5/10? What was the gap?
So qualifying is complete, and we're
4
all
tenths.
set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are the Rainmaster, Sonoda, and Mick Schumacher. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So I get 4 points because I snagged pole position there. But I'm gonna have to up the difficulty. It's a little bit easy. Just a couple of clicks. I want to make this competitive between myself and Schumacher and Tsunoda. Those are the two that we're going to be fighting with here. So let's just make this from 88 to like 91. Maybe 92. We'll do 92. Boom, 92. All right, and go to next session. We just go to the sprint race, or the feature race, I'm sorry.
It's race day here at Spielberg, and the drivers are making their final preparations down on the grid before lights out. Look around, it's a spectacular setting, and I'm sure today's race will do it justice. So Spielberg is one of the shortest laps on the F2 calendar, just 10 corners, 7 right and 3 left. Look out for the uphill braking zone into turn 3. That represents one of the better.
It's turn 2 really.
Take. Also turn 4.
Turn 2, not turn 3.
Next one being all the way back round to turn 1. As usual, I'm joined by our good friend Davide Valsecchi as we soak up the dramatic scenery. Do you think the drama will continue onto the track today, Davide?
Ciao Alex, I think we can guarantee that. Austria has always been a track that encourages the driver to overtake and attack. But it's a low grip surface. The drivers out there today will have to make sure that the tiny mistakes don't end up hurting them later in the race.
Oh,
As
come
we're
on,
now
let's get the
moments
grid
away from
rundown
kickoff,
over
let's
with.
take a look at the grid order in which they'll start today's race. The Rainmaster lines up on pole position, with Yuki Tsunoda alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Schumacher, Matsushita, Christian Lundgaard, and Deruvela. Ilott, Aitken, Piquet, Felipe Dragovic, Alesi, Schwartzman, Guan Yu Zhou, and Armstrong. Tictum, Samaya, Sato, and Artem Markelov. Mazepin, Delatraz, Nissani, and Sean Galeal completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
All right, time to lights out.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Okay, so soft tire fall off is going to be pretty dramatic. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pit a lap earlier. We're going to come in on lap 6. I can't change the setup, but here's the setup anyway. 5-6, 40-60. There's your suspension geometry. The suspension brakes. Move that to 51. We can always change the brake bias throughout the race. And the tire pressures. So there we go. Let's, fuel is already locked in. It's fixed fuel load, so we just start the race. My reactions could have been better. Well, someone's already taken out my front wing, so that's great. Ugh. Schumacher had a great start. It's going to probably be worth a couple tenths a lap.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Understood, copy that.
Nope, I'm keeping the current, sorry. I can do this, Jeff. This is probably really going to affect me in left-handers. It sure is. I have no downforce in the left-handers. When we come into pit, I'll let the team do whatever they want to do. If they want to change the front wing, I don't care. I'm just going to drive around for 6 laps with the damage. Oh, yeah. You can really feel the effects of that damaged front wing already. I'm just going to have to make do. Now let's see what kind of lap times Schumacher's doing, what kind of times I'm doing, just for comparison's sake. I think I can be fine. It's all about corner exit, like I said. I think if we can just get a good exit out of the corner, we'll be just fine. I'm also sure I'm not the only one carrying any sort of damage. Just got to deal with that dabblage.
The virtual safety car has just been deployed due to a buildup of debris on the track. We've been informed that due to the increasing risks, they're moving from a virtual to a full safety car.
Oh, that's new.
Drop your speed, our delta is too low.
This is the time to pit.
Slow your pace immediately.
I'm pitting. I almost said Mick. Jeff, let's box. Box now. How do I do it? Box this lap.
Understood, stopping this lap.
Box, box, box. New tires, new front wing if you want to change it, I don't care. Mick is not boxing. I'm boxing. I have a chance to fix the safety car under, or fix the front wing under a safety car. A little slow into the pits, but it's fine. I didn't want to speed, that's all. Now this is risky because there is a safety car, but we would pit on lap 6 anyway. So I'm just going to go right to hard tire and take it to the end. I think this is going to give me the best chance to...
Nikita is coming in for his stop.
Yeah, Nikita's stopping as well. Would you hurry up and change the tires?
Exit now.
And here comes Nikita right behind me just as I pull out.
Only
That was a
one
long
to go.
stop.
One stop left in this strategy.
It's not my fault that someone ran into me on the start. So this is going to be an interesting decision here. But everyone else is going to be pitting. I've already done my stop, and even though I'm at the back of the grid, or back of the field, everyone's going to be bunched up under a safety car. So I'm going to have a chance to make up those positions. Now I'm going to have, these tires are going to be on for quite a while compared to everyone else. But it will be under safety car conditions to help me just kind of save the tires for a lap or two. Moving from VSC to full safety car was a good idea. That's a decision to pit there that I would have taken no matter what. If you have damage, that's a good idea to pit there. Now I just have to catch up to the pack, and is anyone boxing on this lap? I don't even know where the safety car queue is. It should be somewhere just past turn 1 here. Maybe going just up the hill into turn 2. Not turn 3. Yeah, I can see it. I can see them. They're coming into turn 2. So, just got to take this tire to the end of the race, which should be relatively easy to do. Considering we're on lap 4, and we'll turn lap 5 in a little bit. There might be an extra lap of safety car, just because the field has not entirely bunched up, but they will have bunched up by the end of this lap. We're just waiting on guys like Galale, Sato, and Mazepin. And maybe one other driver, I'm not entirely certain. See, I've already put 4% on the rears. It's just the traction corners here. Try not to take too much out of the tire. And here we go. So we're behind Dan Ticktum. So we're with the field here. We just have to do a little bit of overtaking, but we have a clean front wing. The damage was not my fault. So we have a clear, we have a new front wing, fresher tires, sort of, although they're still on the faster compound. But yep, we just have to take this to the end here. So it's a no-brainer to pit there. And the safety car will turn another lap, so yeah, good idea to pit. I haven't put too much wear on the tires. No idea where Galale is. Where is Galale? They are 14 seconds behind.
Right, pick up the pace.
Sorry, I'm just trying to hold on to these tires.
10 car lengths of the car ahead. Return the position immediately or we will be penalized. There is no overtaking during the safety car period.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get some temperature into the brakes. Maybe the stewards will buy it. I'm running P16 at the moment. It could be worse, man.
Need to stay within 10 car lengths of the next car.
Remember, top 10, just like F1, get points. So, a points finish is better than no.
Again. The safety car is in this lap.
I had a feeling it would be coming in.
Remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. So a points finish is better than nothing. So we lead the championship so much we can afford to kind of have a rough feature race here. We just need to make up as many positions as we can. I wonder if stumbling over my words, if anyone's going to box here. Look for people to maybe come in. It's either this lap or the next lap. Nope. We're going to resume racing in a minute. I need to just prepare myself. And then green flag, just like that. Tried to stay with Ticktum out of the last corner and not overdo it. So obviously DRS won't activate for a while. We have still about 15, 14 laps to do something here. Sorry, Ticktum, but I'm taking this position from you. Do what I have to do. Overcooked it a little bit. Alright, I need that brake bias to be a bit more rearward here. I'm not getting any rotation out of the tires, or out of the car, rather. So no one's pitting, but that's obviously because the safety car probably helped them go a little bit further. Oh, Mick, sorry. Mazepin is back in the pits again. Very interesting. Caution again.
Caution, caution.
Oh god, and it is Schwartzman. He's blown an engine. It's a free position. I'll take it. Ah, could have used some traction there, please. I could have gone for a move on Markelov here, maybe a dive bomb if I'd actually gotten the traction. I think that's pretty obvious. Schwartzman's out. Well, we just had a safety car, so the game obviously doesn't like to have safety cars after they just had one. Oh my goodness, Markelov, man. All over him. Oh! He was so slow through there. And he's slow through there as well. Get out of the frickin' way, man. Man, that pisses me off. We're up to P7, by the way. P8, rather. Chasing down P7. Oh, and I have DRS. I didn't realize. I'm going to make this guy go the long way around. Nope, I'm defending. Defending. That's Schwartzman? Yeah, Schwartzman pulled up. Could have used without that. Could have done without that. Let's tick them behind. See, these guys are now boxing. Now, some of these guys are still going to come out ahead of me, but this is where it's really important for me to maximize this little bit here. And I've come out in the lead. That's incredible. Strategy paying off. I gotta go a lot longer than they do on this tire. That's the hard part. Trying to hold on to the end. Tsunoda has not pit yet. You see, there they are on the other side of the track. So I need to really just pump in decent laps here. That's all this is about. Just pump in the decent laps. Tsunoda doesn't pit. That's a crazy strategy right there. He doesn't pit. Tires might be fine for him, so he may not feel any need to pit just yet. He's a second behind me. Is he within DRS? Did he get it at the detection point? I have no idea. But those tires are hanging on for him. Somehow, some way. Getting so much wheel spin. It's not helping. I gotta make this tire last. Tsunoda, don't try anything, man. Make him chew up that tire. Still not in. This is crazy. Why hasn't he picked? Are we going to be fighting for position with him? Maybe he put a second set of soft tires on, but he should be catching me easily. We're keeping him at a second gap right now. trying to just bleed the speed very smoothly through here. Oh man, it just doesn't have any front end through there. Still out. He must be doing a two-stop. There's no other explanation. He's got to be doing a two-stop. Let me see. I'm going to ask Jeff in a second here if Tsunoda has pit.
Tsunoda behind. Our gap behind is 1.1 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 10 laps old.
Nope.
The time last lap was a 1 minute 17.3.
He hasn't stopped. He's on 10-lap-old tires. On soft compound tires, and he's catching me. What? What is this? What is this magic? What is this wizardry? I mean, we're legitimately fighting him for position at the moment, but he's gonna have to pit. He'll have to pit sometime soon. He might be boxing soon. Pay attention. Watch your mirror. Watch the mirrors. See if he comes in. He's now at a second. His tires have had. His tires have to have hit the cliff by now. There's no way they haven't hit the cliff. No, he's staying out. This is weird. I think my lap times are consistent. I think I'm consistently.
Approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs. Gap
No.
to teammate
What?
behind is 32.3 seconds.
Jeff, we're not pitting again. I don't even know what the delta loss is in the pits. Oh, Deruvula out. He must have had a failure. He is out of the session. No safety car for that. He's on the other side, just down this hill here. His car is parked up. This is very strange with Tsunoda. We're not stopping. We're doing a one-stop. We're taking this tire to the end, baby. We can with the safety car. That really helps us extend the life of the tire. But these tires are going to be chewed through by the end of the race. But I think it can hold off
Yellow
Schumacher to the end.
Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
Yeah, I see it. It's Deruvula. I know. It's Tsunoda's teammate.
Okay, the incident has been cleared. Let's get back
See,
up
he's
to
1
racing
point.
speed.
He's 1.6 behind now. He has the pit. He has the box at some point. What a crazy strategy. He might be in now. Oh, he's in. He's in. So that takes care of that. So it's just Schumacher. It's just Mick now. Is Mick going to inherit second, or is Tsunoda going to come out ahead? He had like a 16-second gap.
Be careful. We think you're
Okay,
going to start
Schumacher.
using some tire grip around now.
Schumacher is out in second, so it's Schumacher behind from Lundgaard, and then Tsunoda has really dropped. So yeah, he wouldn't pit a second time. Hell no. You'll lose so much time in the pits. Just have to make Schumacher would have to catch at a huge rate just to catch me. With 6 laps remaining, you would have to catch me at, like, I don't know what the pace per lap would have to be. It's well more than a second a lap. You know how hard it is to make up a second a lap on someone at a short track like this? There's no way in hell. I have the gap. I don't know exactly how much. I can't do the math in my head. I don't know exactly how much per lap he'd have to make up just to catch me within the last 6 laps, but it's a lot per lap. For example, if it was 10 laps to go and it was a 1 second lap,
Window open. Let's box this lap.
he would have to catch me at a pace of, or if it was a 10-second gap with 10 laps to go, he'd have to catch me at a rate of 1 second per lap. And it's well more than that. It's 15 seconds with 5 laps to go. What is that? 15, is it 15 seconds per lap?
PK has just set the fastest
It's
lap
not
of the
15
race.
seconds per lap. It might be more like 7 or I don't know. or 5. It might be 5 seconds per lap, actually. 3 or 5 seconds. It wouldn't be 15 seconds per lap. In 1 lap, he'd have caught. He'd catch me. Someone who has the fastest lap? Schumacher had it and it's gone. It's probably Tsunoda. I wouldn't be surprised if Yuki takes fastest lap here. I'm not really pushing. I'm just trying to keep it on track. That's all. Yeah, we're gonna have plenty of tire left by the end of this race. We'll be completely fine. Even 50% tire wear is not that much. Mick is catching, but it's not a huge rate that he's catching. And he sets the fastest lap at 16.4. 16.9 rather. I thought I saw 4 up there. I could do a 16.9. I mean, it's only like 3/10. I mean, if I really pushed hard. But these tires are knackered, and they're going to be really knackered by the end of this race. So I just need to keep some life in them. It's not about pure pace. Honestly, getting the points for pole position is more than enough for me. So I don't need that extra points for fastest lap. I'll be just fine. Just get the race win. That's the main focus. And a 16.8 for Sean Galeo. And I found 2/10 there, so personal best. And a purple third sector as well. So I have that kind of pace, basically. I just need to be careful not to absolutely wrench the tires here. And a 16.8 for Mick. So Mick Schumacher has really got some pace in this one. I just made out really well by pitting early under that safety car. It's really benefited.
You've lost some time to the car behind.
All right. Fastest lap.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
I need to take care of these tires. They're pretty knackered. Sets fastest lap. Who am I? Lewis Hamilton. 2.0. I mean, I was not necessarily just going for it on that lap. I just found the pace. I'm just finding pace on these worn hard tires. Just starting to come to me now. And Tsunoda steals the fastest lap away. I expected him to do that. He has fresher tires. I was going to do this without a flashback, and then that happened. Got too carried away.
Okay. That was a nasty hit.
I'm flashing it back anyway, because that's a joke. I'm flashing it back anyway, I don't give a crap. Haven't really put a foot wrong all day, so you can't fault me.
There's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
I've always says that after I have a massive crash. Like, nope, the crash that didn't just happen. Okay, that was a terrible corner. Let's just bring the car home. Forget this. Bring the car home. Stop trying to push too hard. Just enjoy yourself. Take it home. We're not going to complete an F2 race without a flashback, are we, this year? Got too greedy pushing the car. And it's starting to bite now. One more lap.
This is your final lap of the race.
Flashbacks really don't bother me too much anyway with the F2 season. I mean, we're probably going to take the title because we've just been that dominant this season. And I'm not taking the F2 season that seriously. I wanted to at first, but the way that the car struggles to get traction and spins out at random.
Leading our teammate by 38.8 seconds.
Wow. It's essentially impossible not to use one. Because it's so frustrating, it's so hard to tell when the car is going to lose grip like that as well. I'm pretty limited in terms of what I can feel. While trying to push the car to its maximum. There goes Tsunoda with another fastest. No way I was going to be able to beat that. Maybe. Was it a 14.6? I think I could have done that. But anyway, I'm not going to find out because I'm just trying to bring it home. Did I get fastest lap at the end?
Superb driving. That's the race win.
I may have stolen it away at the end. I gained a couple of tenths in the final corners. But we were way down the order at one point in this race and still came back and took the victory.
And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tire strategy, what else occurred on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
And it's time now for the podium celebrations, and how well deserved is this one? What a fantastic victory for High-Tech GP.
Alright. Onwards and upwards. Oh, I did get fastest
The
lap.
Rainmaster increases their championship lead.
Wow.
Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Guilherme Samaya. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams Championship. High-Tech GP increased their gap over the competition with that result. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from ART this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. After all this drama, you'll be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you there. Take care.
Ooh, Tsunoda did 4 stops. No wonder he finished so far down. So, Schumacher still gets some points, but I think that's gonna... Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to go to the standings. It's gonna still clear me by 79 points. So I think we might be the F2 champion, unless we just collapse at the end of the season, which is entirely possible. View the highlights, I guess? Sure, we'll view the highlights. Started on pole, so that's us on pole. I wonder how I got ran into. I'm going to find out here. I'm holding my line. I did nothing wrong. I turned in, and I guess that's Tsunoda that ran into me. So it wasn't my fault, really. Just trying to take the line. So this is racing after the safety car. So we resume, and I got, I forgot his name, Tictum, after the safety car went in. So I get him into this corner. He's so slow, I just could decide to go down the inside and take that position away. Nice and fair. That's pretty clean. A little bit aggressive, but you leave the door open, I'm going to walk right in. So if you don't want me to do that, defend a little more aggressively. So what is this? This is Markelov, and I almost ran into the guy here, I think. If this is what I think it is, I nearly ran into Markelov. May have actually done a slight tap here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. All the way up on the curb. Oh! Losing the car nearly. So this might be the pit stop phase. I'm not entirely certain. No, it's not. Wow, that would be pretty much track limits, but they're not calling it. You can see I did bump into Markelov, but it was not enough to affect performance. This is me defending from Tictum. I picked my line and I stuck to it and I made him go and try to get it down the inside, but you can carry that speed around the outside like I did. You see, I kept it on track as well. Then the track boundaries just forced him to have to go the slower way around that corner, which is actually on the inside. It's good defending from Tictum, the corner where I got him, and that's the end of the race basically. Right there, I did get fastest lap, which I was surprised to actually get fastest lap. I didn't think I was going to be able to compete with Yuki, who had much fresher tires at the end of the race. So we go to the sprint race. It's reverse grid. I think I start do I start P8 for the sprint race? We're going to bump this up a little bit more. 94? 93. Try 93. Might even need to bump it up a little bit more, but I'm not entirely certain. Sprint race time.
We're returning after yesterday's feature race for the final event of the weekend, the sprint. Down on the grid below us, the drivers are spending their last few minutes getting ready. Very soon, they're going to kick this race off in dramatic fashion. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
Alright, so it's sprint race time. We can't change anything we went over the car setup. The car setup is the same. It's just hard tire to the end. 14 laps. We basically did 14 laps in that race and made it to the end. So we know what that feels like. So we're starting in 8th, yes. So the wind starts in 8th. And we're lights out and away we go. Let's see if we can get a good start here. We actually get a pretty good start. I got a car going down my inside. Just going to let them have the position. I don't want damage this time. You can always get people back into the next turn anyway. So they're going to go very slowly on the brakes into the next turn. So If I can get to the inside, I could make an overtake here. Oh, someone just ran right into me. Is that damage already? It is small damage. God, this freaking AI, man. Ah! I needed to move my brake bias forward if I was going to do that. All I've done is just lose positions here. Once we get DRS, it'll be good. But I've chewed through the tires already. Had to take avoiding action. It's not a great start on this first lap. A little bit of a cheeky corner cut there, just so I could have the line through there. I'm getting to the apex first. Squeeze them out very aggressively. But hey, they've been aggressive with me on the first lap, so I'm going to do the same thing right back. So I'm in P9 still. So I'm not even back to where I started. Might give up some points in this race, but it's fine. There's yellow flags. Oh, that's on the other side of the track. I take that back. It's on the other side of the circuit. Can't stop, won't stop. DRS should come available. There it is. Squeeze him out. Get the position. There you go. Fair and clean racing. And I have DRS as well. So I'm back to P8, where I started, which is decent. Not great, but decent. Tires might be a bit knackered by the end of this race, so we really need to make up those positions. Looks like the AI seem to be back to being able to get glorious starts on the lights out, so gotta work on those race starts. I don't think I've had one really dominant race start yet, so it's been all AI so far, just killing it. Going a bit wide there, that might be the wing damage. It's very small wing damage, but it's still going to affect me enough. I set a fastest lap though.
Gap to teammate behind is 3.6 seconds.
I'm coming for you, Lundgaard and Matsushita and whoever's ahead of them. Coming for all of you. Getting that foot down. Just don't have the front end through here. Totally killer. The lack of front end through there. It's killing me. Making life difficult. Gotta get within DRS. I'm just outside of DRS on Lundgaard. I set a fastest lap.
This lap of the race. Keep this up.
A little bit wide of the apex. I was hoping that would help me get at least a decent exit though, carrying a little more speed though. But nope. Didn't gain any lap time. I need that DRS so bad. They have it off of each other. They're just a DRS train. It's preventing me from being able to get close enough. That's the hard part. I really have to make the most of this in the corners. But, you know, wing damage is hampering me just enough to not have enough performance through here. See, I'm just lacking a little bit of front end. Might drop the brake bias by just 1%. See if it helps. Just move it a click to the rear. See if maybe that helps with the rotation. God, I'm going wide off this corner every time. I'm very close now. I'm almost within a second. I got that slipstream and a fastest lap. So I'm going faster every time, and I don't even have DRS. Oh, if I can really get close enough, I could get it. I could just get close enough. See, I'm not so good coming out of this corner. Do I have it? No, I don't have it. Tantalizingly close to DRS. That's not going to help. I have to use third gear. I need that rotation. I need a little more rotation. I'm going to be just outside of DRS. It's so angering me because we're so close to DRS. And we have it. Finally. God, I had to work so hard to get it.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
Coming for these guys, I'm telling you. DRS is going to really help now. It's the overtaking that's going to be the hard bit. Well, not really, but kind of. I know where I can get it done. So it's going to be into that turn. It's going to be into turn 2. Things are getting a little bit sketchy on the rear, so I'm going to move the brake bias back into the heaviest braking zones. Through here I still want a little more rear brake bias, just so I can get a little more front end grip and a little more rear end rotation. Oh god, I'm so much quicker than Lundgaard. What do I do? That was a bold move. And I have DRS as well. Screw you, Lundgaard.
We're leading our teammate by 8.3 seconds.
I about broke myself. That's my fault. Oh, that sucks. That was super freaking dangerous what he just did. He moved so quickly, so I squeezed him out at the end as a little payback for that. That was dangerous. At that speed, man, it's so dangerous. $51G, man. Ooh, bit off a bit too much of the corner. on that one. I will admit the car turned in a little more sharply than I was expecting, to be honest. That's why I got so much of the corner. Lundgaard, yeah, he's within DRS for sure. Like, no competition. He's within DRS easily. Let's see. I have the racing line, though. He's got DRS coming out of here, and probably gonna get... Oh, he's gonna get way better traction. All right, I'm gonna make him... I'm gonna defend the inside. Oh, God, this is gonna be so bad. Oh, he's gonna switch me back, isn't he? He ran into me. Okay, that's your problem, AI. Two seconds off of Matsushita, and they all have DRS with each other, so they're a DRS and slipstream train, so it's going to be very hard for me to catch them. Maybe in the corners, but the straights are really going to kill me on the straights. Lundgaard has damage, but it's his own fault. It's not my fault. He has damage. I think I have damage from him running into me. Oh. Yeah, see my car there? It's a little bit yellow on the side there. So it may have accrued some side pod damage. Yep, I think P7 is the maximum today, which is fine. A Lacey behind.
Tire condition is still looking good.
Yep, it is. It's fine. PK sets fastest lap. I think I had it there for a while, but it's no longer mine. I'm out of tire. I'm out of grip. Out of confidence. I don't have DRS either, so this has just not quite been my day. I'm losing time to the cars ahead. They're all on the DRS train, like I said. It's just going to be basically impossible to catch them without them making a mistake or tripping over each other, which they're not doing at the moment. And Lacey is catching, I think, or maybe, I don't know. I cannot really tell.
Caution, caution.
For who? Is it a free position?
Be aware, there's an incident in the next part
Armstrong.
of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
No, it's not for position. Wow, fastest lap's just ticking off. Some back markers, I think, maybe have gotten in the way there for the guys in front. Did you see that left front wing? That left part, it is slightly lime green. So we have accrued a little bit of wing damage. Yeah, P7 is the maximum today. It is a tough result, but I mean, there's only so much I can do. Field doesn't really spread out. There's not much I can really do about this. Plan is just to make it home here. Car's been very front limited today. Oh my god. Almost didn't, I didn't even see him there. That would have been a terrible crash.
Green flag. Green flag. We're racing again.
Armstrong's been disqualified. Somebody run into him? I almost did. Maybe these guys will run into him as well.
Final lap of the race. You're losing a small amount of time to the car behind.
Someone tell Armstrong to be a bro and help a fellow bro out and give me a couple positions here. Take these guys out. Getting so much understeer in this corner, it's not even funny. It's cost me so much lap time through this sector. I just have no grip here.
Yellow flag. Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead. There's been an incident on
Oh!
track. Officials aren't looking to push for a
Oh
safety
my
car right
goodness.
now. Just be careful.
What happened? What? What?
You've really been great today.
What? What? What just happened? Oh my god, I think I won.
Their high-tech GP into Parc Fermé then. What a fantastic race. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
Oh my god.
What a race, Alex. Every so often we get a spectacle like we did today. Less focus on strategy and time management and more on just pushing it to the limits and battling it out for those top positions. I think what we experienced today is evidence of why Formula 2 is continuing to draw into crowds. And expect today's race will definitely be turning a few more heads to the series.
And as they make their way
That
down to the podium,
is an
there's no
absolute
denying
knee
the strength of the
slapper right
high-tech
there.
GP team. It was an incredible performance today, and they fully deserve to stand on the top step.
What? How? How did I win this? How did I win this race? That doesn't make any sense. That is absolutely insane. What? I'm stunned. I don't know what to say. We just won this race. At the last, everyone was held up. I need a replay. I need a replay of that last lap. Oh my god.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. The Rainmaster increases their championship lead. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
They demonstrated a very delicate touch in the wheel-to-wheel situation. They showed maturity and patience.
And now a look at the team standings. High-Tech GP increased their gap over the competition with that result. Meanwhile, good work from Campos this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. That's the end of today's race. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you'll agree it was a great race and sets us up nicely for the next installment in a few weeks' time. Take care. From Davide and I, it's goodbye.
That is the most insane finish of my life. I finished ahead of PK by 11 hundredths of a second. That's insane. I got him on the line. We have to see the replay of that. That might be worth a full race replay. That might be worth saving. That's insane. I pulled an 88-point gap now because of the last lap. Whatever happened at the end of the race there, someone lost it. And I finished ahead of everyone there. I think Armstrong ended up helping me. He was a bro. He actually helped me. We have got to go back and see that. That was one of the craziest races of my lifetime. All right, we gotta go to lap 14. This is gonna take a while, so just bear with me for a little bit, and we will find this final lap. So we'll just see the full highlights here and fast forward until we get to lap 14. So just bear with me. And hold this button down until lap 14. We're getting closer. Just hang in there. Just a second. One more lap. We're going to change camera just to start this off. I want to see the whole onboard of the last lap. So here you go. The last lap of the race. And there's your gaps, your live timing on the left. 3-second gap to P6 Matsushita. Coming through turn 1. Nice and smooth. No, I'm just trying to bring this home. You know, I'm not thinking at all about a race win or even picking up a position. I think, you know, let's just bring this home. Be nice and easy. Don't accelerate too hard. Lose the back end. Spin out. We haven't used a flashback in this race, so let's not use one now. I did think about the possibility that something could happen, and we'll find out in just a moment exactly what happened on this final lap. You can see how much understeer I was getting in these left-handers with that damage to the front wing. I was just struggling to get the front to grip. You know, there's yellows through here, so I see that there's yellow. Someone spun off. Okay, I see that. Then it's green, so I'm allowed to overtake. I go off track because I see all these cars, and it's green. So it's a legal overtake. I was allowed. And I got him on the line. It must be the most insane finish I've ever had. So I want to see from PK's perspective. So let's go to PK. All right, so PK. Let's see what PK sees. Oh! PK absolutely clobbered whoever that is. I'm not sure if it's just because it's yellows. I don't know what's going on. AI are freaked out. And here I come. On your right. I might get him. Oh, man. I really need to see a better view of how close that finish was. But the AI freaked out after he made the collision. And I need to just see every AI's response here. Because here's Samaya. He's behind. He's only 0.6 behind. PK. He just goes right into the back, and then Samaya does the same. And AI just kind of freaked out. You can see it's flashing yellows, and then it goes green here. And now it's yellow. Now it's green. And that was me that went past. Crazy. So what happened to Drugovic? Drugovic was in P3. Did he finish P3? I think he finished P3, so he is almost the better part of 0.5 behind this, behind Samaya. And did they all go into each other? He barely made it on the brakes in time. And you can see PK, he's freaking out. I'm gonna go right around the outside because I'm not sure what they're doing. I just took avoiding action because I was not expecting to fly up on a single file of cars going so slowly. So that is purely why I went around the outside. I mean, I just took avoiding action. This is Mick Schumacher. See Schumacher. He avoids the incident. There I go, flying right around the outside. It's weird how it kind of teleports or whatever at the end there. I don't quite know what that's about. So then we have Callum Ilott. So Ilott in P5, 0.6 behind Schumacher. And he doesn't collide into anyone, it looks like. Kind of a weird freak out moment here from all the AIs again. It's flashing yellows, but on the left side of the track it flashed green. I need to go back and watch my cockpit perspective from in real time to see if it was flashing yellow or green through there. But I didn't get called for overtaking under yellows. They didn't say anything about overtaking under yellows, so this is Matsushita's perspective. And I believe this is Drugovic's teammate. Watch the left side, here I come. Alright, so that's everyone's perspective that was in front of me. And once again, we've seen my perspective. What did the television camera look like? What is this going to show? It says yellows there, and I see that. I respect that. Then I came around that penultimate corner, and I saw, look at this finish. Oh my goodness. It's on the line. It's on the line. You can't get much more closer to a photo finish than that. In fact, this may deserve a photo mode view of that finish, because holy crap. So this is just ahead of me. Man, that finish is crazy. We got to see PK with the TV camera from PK. Here comes PK. Ooh. Man, he smashed his car to pieces. And then for some reason, they let PK go again. Insane. I need to see. I'll take two views. First, the nose cam view. You see, I'm like, oh crap. Man, just got him. Just got him on the line. It's crazy. So here's another view, an alternate view of this. And then we'll go to chase camera just to see. That's just purely avoiding action. And then here's PK. He's slow coming out of the last corner with all that damage. And on the line, photo finish, P1. I was not expecting to finish P1. That's crazy. And if you want to see, here's the chase camera view. And we'll do photo mode just to show how close it was on the line when I got PK. I just got him. I just did get him, maybe by just barely half a wheel. Is that all the perspectives? Yep, that's pretty much all of them. Now there is, wait, let's just fast forward for just a second. Where's, how do you do photo mode? 10. I don't know what 10 is. Ah, there it is. Found it. So how do I move the, can I do it with the, keyboard? Yes, WASD. Alright, there we go. Now WASD is to move. Now how do you rotate? Just do it with my steering wheel, I guess. Wait, hold on. Exit. And let's get to the finish line. Alright, this is the moment we really need to capture. Now turn and rotate. Oh my goodness. Yep, I got him. I sure did get him. Barely. Like by a wheel, basically. A wheel. F7. F8. Okay, cool. My brake pedals do this rotation bit here. Look at that. A photo finish. A legitimate photo finish. Is there a way to zoom in? Oh yeah, it's through here, isn't it? Just camera roll. Just a little bit. And then zoom. There we go. This music reminds me of F1 2018. Oh man, can you believe how long ago that game came out? Time flies, man. Slightly beat up car. That one's not my fault, by the way. The beat up car. Not my fault. It was whoever ran into me. But that is a photo finish. And one more view that I want to give you of our incredible photo finish. I just got to figure out how to do this. Is it by doing this? And then, yep, pull it away. And then I just want to wait. Do this? No. Let me do this first. WASD. And then point it down and zoom out away. There we go. Hard to do this with the steering wheel. I don't know why the controls are so janky, but they are. They're janky in photo mode, so I'm trying to do my best. I need to zoom out a little bit as well. I forgot that I was so zoomed in. Point down. There we go. That's what I was trying to do, but I want to move the camera forward a little bit. Like I said, the controls are just a little bit janky, and I'm trying my best to work with what I've got to work with here. Oh my goodness, why are these controls so backwards? Cody's! Alright. Whoops. Okay, that works too, I guess. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Alright, there we go. Got ourselves a 6 screenshot. Just trying to straighten it out just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Alright, well that just shows you how close that was. We'll view the highlights here and we'll call it a stream. Got my photo finish. That's where the damage incurred on lap 9 there. This is the final lap and the craziness that ended the race. Yellows are waving there, but then it's green on the left side here, I think, when I went around all that traffic. What a finish you would have been treated to there if this was a actual race that was in the real world. I don't know that the full race replay is worth saving. It was crazy though. There's your results. I came in with huge points this weekend. $46 points. That's a huge amount of points on the weekend. Oh, it's Silverstone. Silverstone is next. I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be a fun race. Should Silverstone be, but it won't happen for a couple of days. It'll probably be about roughly Thursday. I think will be the next one. Oh, a wet quali as well, but it looks like the feature and sprint race will be dry. So that's neat. Escape and menu, yes. And we're going to call it a night. What a crazy sprint race at Spielberg. There's a reason it's one of my favorite tracks. We could have easily done both of those races without flashbacks, but needed one for that feature race with the little spin out. But as far as I'm concerned, it didn't even happen.